Okay, so I prepared this brief presentation to get you ready for the Chapter 12 test, and specifically for a specific question. The Chapter 12 test is not difficult. There's some reading and listening passages, uh, and I think it's pretty direct. Make sure you're familiar with the vocabulary and you're familiar with the information in the comunicación section, and you should do fine. There's not a whole lot of grammar on the exam, but sometimes the grammar questions can be a little complicated. So I prepared this presentation to give you an idea of what one of your grammar questions will be like. So uh, this is a grammar question that will test you on the use of object pronouns, the use of object pronouns with the present progressive tense and the present perfect tense. Okay, so that this is right out of your uh, grammar lesson, and so what they will do is they will give you numerous sentences, and you need to fill in the blanks. Okay, so first of all, they give you a word bank of verbs. Here we have decir, entrar, decir, jugar, hacer, usar. Okay, and you have to choose which verb to use in that sentence. So look at the sentence, try to get a feel for what's being said there, and you have to choose the verb. Once you decide which verb you're going to use, you're either going to put the verb into the present perfect tense or the present progressive. So immediately look at your auxiliary or your helping verb. If you have a from haber, I have, you're going to use the present participle. You will follow with the present participle. If you have estoy from estar, then you're going to have the present progressive tense and you're going to use the present participle. So if you have a from haber, you're going to use the past participle and form the present perfect tense. If you have estoy, uh, then you're going to put the uh, present participle and you're going to have the present progressive tense. And notice they either will use a as the auxiliary verb, I have, or estoy will be the auxiliary verb, I am. All right. So once you've done that and you've decided on your verb, uh, look up at your sentence themes. Okay, and figure out what are they talking about in the themes and write in the theme at the end. So let's try one. This is actually a very easy exercise. It could just be a little confusing. So let's try the first sentence. So make sure you know your verbs that are available. Decir, entrar. Uh, I have it twice. Decir, jugar, hacer, usar. And then you have your themes. Is the sentence dealing about a pool, la piscina, la raqueta, a racket, the volleyball, el voleibol, um, soccer players, los jugadores de fútbol? Does it deal with exercises or el casco, a helmet? So let's take a look. So we've got something mucho porque me gusta jugar tenis. Okay, so we're going to have, so it's I have done something. So we have to figure out because I like tennis a lot. Well, if we look at our choices from the different themes, we see the word la raqueta. So that's what we use in tennis. So, um, and we use it in tennis. So we could say, I have, yo he usado, because our auxiliary or helping verb is a, so I have to use the past participle. Yo he usado, I have used mucho porque me gusta jugar tenis. And what are we talking about? The racket. Now, we want to use the object pronoun that stands for racket. Because again, this is using pronouns with either the present progressive or the present perfect tense. So what pronoun will we use? How are we want to get rid of the word racket and use the pronoun that stands for racket? So let's look at the word racket. It's la raqueta. It's singular and feminine. So we want to get rid of that and just sub it out for the object pronoun it. So we want to say, I have used it mucho, a lot, porque me gusta jugar tenis. All right, so the it will become la. We know that we always put our object pronouns where? They always go immediately before the conjugated verb. So you're going to put all your pronouns before the conjugated verb, before either the a or estoy in each sentence. So let's go do it. So the object pronoun that stands for racket, the it, would be la. And let's go and do it. So it becomes la he usado mucho porque me gusta jugar tenis. And what is the thing? It's la raqueta. That's the theme of the sentence. Okay, let's try the next one. In number 2, we have a, again, is our auxiliary verb. So we want to use the past participle of whatever verb we decide to use there. So something about yo he blank buena suerte. Something about me having done something with buena suerte, because soccer, football es mi deporte favorito, because soccer is my favorite sport. So I have done something with buena suerte. Well, maybe decir, maybe I have said buena suerte. Okay. All right. Now, if I'm going to say buena suerte, who am I going to say it to? If football is my favorite sport, well, let's look at our theme. We would say it to whom? Los jugadores de fútbol, to soccer players, you're going to tell that. So now we can do our sentence. So I have said good luck, buena suerte, to whom? The soccer players, to them. So my object pronoun now is the indirect object them, to them. And it's got to go before the conjugated verb a. All right, so let's see what this looks like. Les he dicho buena suerte porque fútbol es mi deporte favorito. And again, here I put the theme of the sentence, los jugadores de fútbol. So I have told them, right? Buena suerte porque fútbol es mi deporte favorito. So here we put the object pronoun. This time it's the indirect object. The indirect object is les because it's to them. It's a plural, los jugadores. Let's look at the next one. Now we've got estoy as our auxiliary verb. So we're in the present progressive. Okay, so we have to put the present participle of whatever verb we choose. Well, let's try to figure out what verb we want to use here. Estoy blank. I am doing something porque voy en bicicleta, because I'm riding a bike y quiero protegerme la cabeza, and I want to protect my head. So what are we talking about here? The helmet, el casco, legitimate vocabulary right from chapter 12. So I am what? Using. Aren't you going to be using or wearing the casco because you're riding a bike and you want to protect your head? So I want to say I am using. Okay. And now I am using the casco. It's el casco. Now I want to say I am using it. We want to get rid of casco, sub it out, and get the object pronoun. So it's masculine and singular, so it would be lo. So let's see. Lo estoy usando porque voy en bicicleta y quiero protegerme la cabeza. And again, what are we talking about? What's the theme of the sentence? It's el casco. All right. So again, your themes in each sentence actually are your direct or indirect objects that you're subbing out. Let's take a look at 4. And let's see what verb we want to use here. Estoy. So now I'm using estoy, so I want to use the present progressive tense. I want to find the present participle. Estoy what? Porque es lunes, because it is Monday, y siempre hay, and there always are, partidos de voleibol todo el día. So what's a partido de voleibol? It's a game. So there are volleyball games all day. Okay. So if it's Monday and there's volleyball games all day, what might I be doing? I might be what? Playing volleyball. So estoy jugando. All right, we use a star. Now we have to put the present participle. So it's going to be jugando. So we are, and what is the theme of the sentence? It's el voleibol. It's masculine and singular. So now I want to get the object pronoun. I want to say I am playing it. So it will be lo. It's masculine and singular. So here's your answer. Lo estoy jugando porque es lunes y siempre hay partidos de voleibol todo el día. Again, what was the theme and what is the object? In the sentence, it's el voleibol. And finally, let's look at the last question. Just by process of elimination, I think we can get this correct. In 5, we have A, and then we want to put in our verb. So we know now we're using A. We have to put the past participle of whatever verb we choose. A blank porque me gusta nadar mucho. So I have done something because I like to swim a lot. Well, first of all, if I like to swim a lot, what might be the theme up in here? La piscina, the pool. So what might I do to a pool? Yeah, I might swim in it, but I also might have to enter the pool to swim in it. So here I would have he entrado. Okay, porque me gusta nadar mucho. Now I want to say I have entered it. What is the thing I have entered? What's the object? It's la piscina. It's feminine and singular. So how do I say it? It's la. So I put my object pronoun before the conjugated verb. La he entrado porque me gusta nadar mucho. What am I talking about? What's the theme of the sentence? La piscina. What's the object? La piscina. So this, you're going to have a very similar sentence. You're going to have a couple blanks, and you're going to have to conjugate. First of all, select which verb you want to use. You have a list of verbs up here. Then all your sentences are going to be written in the yo form, so it will either say a or estoy. So they either are going to want you to use the past participle, he usado, or if you're using the same verb but you're using estoy, now you've got to use the present participle, estoy usando. So just make sure you conform the past participles with a and the present participles with estoy. We've studied this, but just make sure that you can do that. So make sure you can select the correct verb, look at the auxiliary, put in either the present or the past participle, and then finally look at the object of the sentence or the theme, and make sure you write that in for each sentence. And the themes are all listed up here. Okay, and then but in your first space, you have to get the word it, is basically the idea. What you're doing, you get rid of the object in the sentence. In the first sentence, it was la raqueta, and you got to make it, so it becomes la. Okay. In the next one, the theme of the sentence is los jugadores de fútbol. They're now the indirect object. Okay, so I want to get rid of them, and I have to replace them. Now becomes les as an indirect object. And again, my object pronouns always are placed immediately before the auxiliary verb. They always go before the conjugated verb. The next one, number 3. I'm talking about what? El casco, and I'm riding the bike. We want to get rid of it and say it. So it's masculine and singular, so it becomes lo, and again, it's placed before the conjugated verb. So lo estoy usando, I'm using it. Number 4, I'm talking about volleyball. It's Monday, that's what we play that day. That's the theme of the sentence. It's also the object, the direct object here. So I want to get rid of it, the direct object volleyball, and make it. It's masculine and singular, so it becomes lo. Lo estoy jugando. I'm playing it. And then finally, the direct object here, the thing I'm entering, okay, the theme of the sentence is la piscina. It's feminine and singular. So I want to get rid of it here and sub it out with the object pronoun. And the singular feminine direct object pronoun for it would be la. So la he entrado. I have entered it. Okay. So again, take a look at this. You're going to have a very similar question like this. They'll give you a selection of verbs and a selections of themes, or they'll ultimately become either your direct or indirect object in your sentence. Okay. Best of luck.